Hey guys, what's up? This is Insanity. Got a gameplay of Black Ops Cold War on PC. I've been stalling for a while, but I will now do my own little movie review of Thor Love and Thunder. Let's just say that I was honestly disappointed in this movie. I was looking forward to it, not necessarily hyped, but it was nice to have a proper solo movie after the back-to-back multiverse ventures of Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness that just focused entirely on its main character. The trailers sold the idea of a fun Thor adventure with him trying to figure out his own path after Endgame, no longer enamored with the idea of being a leader to Asgard, with complications arising such as Jane's return and a new villain wreaking havoc among a pantheon of gods called Gorr the God Butcher. I was all in for that. However, the thing that struck me before release was finding that the overall runtime is less than 2 hours, excluding credits. Doctor Strange Mom had some criticism for its running time, but apart from the sense of being truncated to an extent where Wanda the Scarlet Witch was concerned, the movie overall still felt like a Doctor Strange movie that used its runtime somewhat economically. On the other hand, Thor 4, which I'll call it just because Love and Thunder is a mouthful, it did not feel like a movie focused on Thor. Really, the actual star of the movie with an important plot and character arc is Jane Foster, who becomes a Thor thanks to Thor giving Mjolnir specific instructions to assist Jane, but she is currently dying from cancer and becoming Thor speeds up the process. The spiritual journey that Thor goes through that was seemingly hinted at in the trailers is kind of wrapped up at the beginning of the movie. And from that point on, once Jane enters the plot, Thor is largely in plot mode and doesn't really have any character development. He gets a daughter figure at the end of the movie and becomes a sort of father figure, but that's only really saying the most notable thing to happen to him in this movie. The other important character is the villain Gorr. He doesn't have much screen time, but he's the main conductor of the plot, and his character parallels Jane's in that he is also using a powerful weapon that's also killing him for his own cause. Christian Bale is great, as expected of a former Batman actor from the most notable Batman movies of all time. He gets to channel some of his inner Heath Ledger and be a creepy villain. However, for someone who has the title God Butcher, Gorr is probably a bit too subtle a character for that, since apart from killing one god during his intro scene, the rest of the gods that Gorr kills happens off-screen, and Gorr doesn't even kill anyone else on screen, not to mention how sympathetically Gorr is portrayed. The god he worships and prays to is a giant douchebag who wasn't going to move heaven and earth to cure Gorr's daughter, and later on in the movie, Thor and company visit a pantheon of gods who are all rather terrible people themselves. Hence, my earlier concern of the short running time. Both Jane and Gorr have compelling stories with potential, but neither of them get the screen time necessary to bring out that potential. Natalie Dortman gets to play a superhero, and her chemistry with Chris Hemsworth is much better than it has been in the previous Thor appearances. Christian Bale is like Michael Keaton in Spider-Man Homecoming, a former Batman actor who lived long enough to see themselves become a villain, but as a cool villain who is too damn likable for anyone to really root against. Alas, their stories only were given enough time to flourish on screen. A lot of the criticism towards Thor 4 also stems from the amount of jokes in the movie. This movie really does feel like they were trying their hardest to capture the magic that was Thor Ragnarok, but some of the humor from Ragnarok that they replicated ended up dialed up to 11. Some gags were reused throughout the movie a bit too much for my liking, such as the goat screams. If there was ever a time that a Thor movie needed to feature Jane Foster for cancer and Gorr the God Butcher as vital plot elements, now probably was not the best time for that. Those could have been saved for a later Thor movie where they could get the focus they deserved. Or at least maybe with the whole Love and Thunder title. This movie should have honestly just focused on Jane's cancer story, with her reconciling her relationship with Thor, and a lesser villain takes the spotlight. There are elements of the movie I liked, but unfortunately most of the problems of the movie ended up bringing it down to just being mildly enjoyable. My score for Thor 4 is a 5 out of 10. Christian Bale is the villain, the battle in the Shadow Realm, the ending of Gorr giving up his wish of killing the gods to resurrect his daughter instead, with Thor promising to take care of her, and spending time in a newly reformed Asgard as a tourist destination were the highlights. For the short running time, The lack of time and focus for Jane and Gore's stories, the amount of running gags and humor, as well as the fact that the movie kind of felt like an SNL sketch at points, undermined the proceedings. So yeah, not really the best way to go about for a fourth solo door adventure. If they make another door movie, I hope they take it more seriously next time. That's a gameplay and commentary. Hope you enjoyed it, and Insanity is out.